Dean, hello there.
Hi there, how you doing?
Bolton here. Listen, many congratulations on your appointment. What does it mean to you to be here as head coach at this club in particular?
Yeah, it means quite a lot, obviously, due to my allegiances as a child, and my father working here for 25 years as a steward, and but people sometimes forget as well, I've been involved in professional football for 30 years, and none of them 30 years have been involved with Aston Villa. So my allegiance has been as a kid, and I've always kept hold of that allegiance. I suppose for me, this wasn't an emotional decision. It was totally a rational decision. The emotions come from the rest of the family and friends.
How do you look on it as a challenge?
Sorry, how do I look at it?
How much of a challenge is it?
Oh, yeah. It's a challenge because we're sat 15th in the Championship, and I know this football club, I know the supporters, and the demands of the football club are that we should be higher, and that's the challenge, to make sure that we improve and get to where we want to.
Much has been made of the appointment as on the coaching staff as an assistant of John Terry. How important is he to you, and how do you see your relationship with him?
No, he's very important. When I was at Brentford, I worked with Richard O'Kelly and Thomas Frank, who'd been a manager out at Bromby in Denmark. So it's only natural that we have another one on the coaching board, on the coaching team, to work with. And John's got a wealth of experience. We all know that he's played at the top level of the game, but he's always been very interested in coaching as well. And it was nice to get out on the grass today with John and Richard and work with the players.
The fact that John was here last season as a player, was that also a factor? Yeah,
it's a big factor. He knows the football club, he knows the dressing room, he knows the players, and he knows the expectations at the club as well. So, it's, for me, it's a really good fit for everybody.
You say you've been out on the training pitches today. A quarter of the season has gone. You're 15th in the table, as you said. How do you assess the squad, and what can Aston Villa achieve this season?
It's a very good squad. I've only coached 13 players this morning because we've obviously got quite a lot on international duty. They were due to come back later in the week, but it's a very good squad. The quality was very high this morning. They're enthusiastic. They want to learn. They want to get better, and that's why we've come in. I'm sad for Steve, obviously, because for me to be sat here, somebody has to lose their job, and he was one game away from being in the Premier League this season, and that goes for his coaching staff as well, who I know all very well, and they're all very good people.
Christian, if I can just ask you a couple of questions as well. Can you outline the qualities that you see in Dean in terms of why you appointed him?
Well, Ian, they're outstanding qualities for the head coach of Aston Villa. He's hugely experienced in English football, hugely experienced in the Championship. He has dedicated his career to a very recognisable playing style, a very attractive playing style, and he's committed to that playing style through thick and thin, and he's done that actually in a number of clubs and often under extreme budgetary constraints. But most importantly, he has a very recognisable football coaching philosophy. His motivation, his energy and his hunger to manage at the highest level is another outstanding feature of Dean. And yes, he really understands what Aston Villa is all about. That's a very good set of qualities to create an outstanding head coach for Aston Villa, I think.
And from a club point of view, can you just take us through the thinking behind appointing John Terry as part of the coaching team?
Well, as Dean said, it's obvious that having been at Aston Villa last year in a playing capacity, John has really, I think, really understood again what Aston Villa is all about, and has familiarised himself with all aspects of the club beyond simply the normal duties that a professional footballer would focus on. And I think in that sense he's going to help Dean very much in the early days, hit the ground running. And secondly, I think it's tremendous that a former great footballer has taken a decision now to dedicate himself to trying to become a leading coach. And this is the first step on that long journey. And so to have somebody with his background as a player make those first steps in our great club, learning from a hugely experienced coach like Dean, felt to us like an excellent fit.
And are you able to confirm that come January there is scope to add to the squad? Should it be required?
Absolutely, absolutely. We really now, a critical third appointment that we announced last week was the appointment of a new sporting director, Jesus Garcia Pitar. Jesus has enormous experience in two major Spanish clubs, Valencia and Atletico Madrid, in a sporting director capacity. And so I expect Dean, Jesus, and myself in the next 4 to 8 weeks to listen to Dean's initial assessment of the squad as he sees it, to talk with Suso, Jesus, and build a plan for the rest of the season and the future. And if that includes players joining and leaving in January, then that will be absolutely fine.
Okay. Ian, Dan.
Your first game is looking like it could be a sellout. It's also going to be marking the passing of Doug Ellis. What are your thoughts about that first game?
Obviously we all felt the loss of Doug. My dad used to show him to his seat, so there's a connection there. I'm looking forward to it. It'd be a great atmosphere at the stadium. I'm also aware of Aston Villa's great record here as well throughout the Championship. I think it's only recently that they've actually got beat at Sheffield Wednesday a few weeks ago. So we want to make this a fortress. We want to make it hard for teams to come here and play, but we want our players to go out there and express themselves, and the fans to enjoy it.
Is it a good thing that you've got 3 games in 6 days at the start for you to get to know your team quickly?
I'll tell you after the week. I mean, it's a tough one because, as I said earlier, I've had 13 players on the training ground this morning, and there'll be some intermittently flying back from their international games, and then, as you say, it's Saturday, Tuesday, Friday. So there won't be an awful lot of coaching you can get into them, but certainly a lot of recovery. But what I've seen so far this morning is that they're a hungry group that wants to get better, they want to learn, want to improve, and for me, that's a delight to see as a coach.
Aston Villa has a lot of credentials that suggest it should be a top flight, but is promotion realistic after a run of 1 win in 10? Have you got to stop the slide first?
Whether that's a slide or not, I'm not sure. Yet the statistics, as you say, them are not good for the club at the moment. Hence me sat here. There's a realistic aim, I believe, to go get promoted this season. That has to be the aim. I've been in this league now for the last 3 or 4 seasons, and it's a tough league. Every game you go into, but for me, this is the most even league I've seen it since I've been in it. Wolves last season were outstanding. I think the season before you had Newcastle and Brighton who were very good. So at the moment, I don't see anybody who looks like they're going to go and run away with it. And we're certainly, there's not an insurmountable gap between us and the top 2 or top 6.
Sorry, Christian, can I just pick up on, you said that money will be available for players. Clearly, during the summer, there was a big talk about financial fair play and the issues that you might have there. Are you confident that's going to be resolved? How are you going to sort that out?
Well, I am. I'm not just confident. I'm highly respectful of the regime, the profitability and sustainability rules that govern the league we play in, and the broader fair play regime that many years ago I sat on the working group that brought those rules in. So we're highly respectful of them, and of course are navigating within those rules. It changes nothing. We are determined to support our new management team in improving this squad where we need to do so, and can easily do so with the financial resources within the rules.
So you don't intend to just drive a coach and horses through the rules? You will abide by the rules?
Absolutely not.
Christian, will you talk to us a little bit more about Jesus' appointment and what he'll bring to that role?
Yes, Jesus will adopt the sporting director role in Aston Villa, which is a new structure for us, which means essentially that he will manage the football operations on a day-to-day basis, supporting Dean in everything that Dean needs to create an environment in which professional footballers can flourish. Every aspect, from preparation, conditioning, nutrition, travel arrangements, through to obviously the complexities and excitement of signing players, selling players and extending players' contracts. That is the professional, those are the professional duties and responsibilities of sporting directors. Jesus has done that for 7 years at Atletico Madrid and for 5 years cumulatively at Valencia. And that is a model that the board feel is the right model for a modern football club. And we believe it maximises the probability that the coach can concentrate on the job of producing a winning football team, allowing another professional to handle many of those aspects that, frankly, just in the sheer hours of the day it takes, I think dilute from the ability and availability of a manager to concentrate on coaching.
You've been here a good 6 weeks now, of course, so what are your thoughts on what you've inherited and how's life going generally?
I'm enjoying it tremendously. It's been a very eventful first 30 days, I can safely say that, but I'm thrilled that today really does represent the start of a new direction in the way we manage our football club from top to bottom, with these key appointments of our head coach and his team, of a new sporting director function. We now have a setup that can build from the top down a truly excellent football club from top to bottom. And excellence does not equate necessarily to being in the Premier League. I don't really buy into the sense of entitlement that comes with phrases like, you know, we should be, we could be. I believe you have to earn those things through hard work and through thoughtful organisation and planning. And the most important part of thoughtful planning is making excellent appointments to the key areas that dictate whether a football club is successful. And that's what we've done today in appointing Dean Smith as our head coach. Everything good flows from that appointment because it's the most important person in this and any other football club. So yes, it's been a very, very hectic 30 days in post, but I think we're moving in the right direction. Thanks to our new majority owners, Nassef Sawiris and Wes Edens, we have a completely clean balance sheet. Our financial problems, the liabilities that the club had incurred were all cleared with the investors' money. And we now therefore have a very, very strong base, financial base, but equally importantly, a management base, responsible, intelligent, long-term owners, empowering me and Dean to do our jobs. And now it's up to us to do them.
Dean, as a local lad, what sort of messages have you been getting from kind of friends and family when you got the job?
Found it quite hard to reply to them all, to be honest.
Can you get me tickets?
Yeah, there'll be a few of them, that's for sure. But no, it's been very positive. Obviously, I grew up in Great Bar, so not far down the road from here. So I think a lot of the local people are really pleased it's a local lad who sat in this seat. I try to remind them that I've actually earned this seat through a lot of hard work, a lot of coaching hours, a lot of games. I think just playing and managing is over 1,000 games now, I think. So, you know, I think I've done my apprenticeship and I'm looking forward to it. But being from the local area, obviously, you know, is a big bonus.
You've clearly earned the right to be here, but just in terms of the level of expectation that you might put upon yourself, because you know what it means to manage this club.
Yeah, I think I handle the expectation and stress quite well. I mean, a lot of my friends have already said that I've been quite steady throughout the whole process, and the friends and family around me have been the ones who have been quite emotional. But as I said earlier, when you've been involved in professional football for so long, I think you come to get used to it a little bit. Yes, this is a step up to a big club that can be very successful, but it's one that I said earlier that it was a rational decision that I believe we can certainly work very hard and start getting on the right paths to success.
And earlier, when you were talking about what could happen and what should happen here, you implied that this club should be back in the Premier League straight away. Can you do it this season? Do you expect to? And is that the expectation of the people who've appointed you?
Yeah, I think Christian just said it's not could or should. We have to earn the right to go and do that. We've got to go and win football games first and foremost by beating championship teams. We're a championship club, and we have to go and compete first and foremost. And the one thing I always say to players is you have to go out and perform. You know, that's the only thing that they can control their performance. You know, if they go and put performances in, they get results that follow. And, you know, that's what we all want at the football club. We want performances so we can get the results. And yes, I believe that we can go and compete this season.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Phil from Press Association. Was it a no-brainer, or did you have to give it some thought, bearing in mind how it's gone for some of your predecessors?
No, I had to give it some thought, but not down to predecessors at all. More to the fact that Brentford have been very, very good. A great football club to work for. We've very good people, and throughout the whole process, they've been class. And I must say that about the football club. So, you know, I had to speak to Christian and make sure there was a project in place, something that was going to make me work hard and progress as a coach and to get better, because I think as a coach I'm always learning. I'll make mistakes, and because as a manager you have to make decisions, and by making decisions you're going to make mistakes. But through the experience that I've got now, I make better decisions and more good decisions than I do bad.
How important was it to bring Richard along with you, and how will his role differ to that of John?
Well, I said before, they're a team, Richard and John. Richard's been with me at Walsall, he's been with me at Brentford, and as I said, at Walsall we could get by and we needed to just work with two financially, whereas at Brentford there was the scope to have one more coach, which I think is needed. And certainly, you know, when we came here, Richard and John's they will be involved in everything. You know, made that clear with both of them when team selection, training, coaching, planning. They'll be involved in everything. I have an open door policy, you know, and I'll take advice and I'll take opinions. But then when I make my decision, then it's our decision when we walk out the door.
Thanks, mate.
I'm right in saying you were a fan of the club. So how does it feel to kind of come into this as a bit of a dream job for you?
Yeah, I mean, it's a great job. You know, I suppose when I was a kid, I wanted to play for Aston Villa, but, you know, I was never good enough and, you know, ended up in the lower league. So, you know, the next best thing, you become a coach. What better than to be the head coach of the football club that you supported? So, yeah, it's, as I say, it's, you know, I'm not going to go dream come true and all start, but it's certainly something that I'm very pleased to be doing.
And in terms of the rest of your family, what's it been like at home since you've said yes?
Well, the timing was probably a bit tough because my wife had an operation on Monday, so I put her through a little bit of stress for 24 hours, 48 hours, but she's recovering now. And yeah, I mean, I wanted to discuss it with my wife and my children first to make sure it was right for them. we're in the area. I know the size of the club and the size of the support. You know, and it had to be right for all of us to make sure, you know, it was the right decision, and it was. You know, overwhelmingly they wanted, they were happy for me to take this job as the head coach.
And just lastly, how was basically coming home to the West Midlands?
It certainly gives me a little bit more of a line. You know, I don't have to get up and travel down that M40 at 5 o'clock in the morning sometimes. But as I say, it's great to be back, and my dog will certainly get slimmer now.